Plop. All right. What do I got? It's my doorbell. Hello, hello. Let me let this populate, have some people come in here, and then we'll get to saying what's up. Just a quick impromptu live, just because I haven't done them in a while. Plug my computer in. Just had a late day, or a late start, or late at Subway about 20 minutes ago, which in New York is very late. It's a 2:40 lunch. And yeah, you guys want to hear me talk about Subway? I'll talk about Subway. But yeah, actually, you know what? You know what bothers me about getting sandwiches? The only consistency across the board, anywhere you go, when you get a sandwich, and they just don't, they're not vibing with you as far as like how much lettuce or how much onions or something like that. And you say, hey, can I just have just a little bit more? And there's no such thing as a little bit more at any sandwich shop. It's like, oh, yeah, a little bit more. And then they throw the whole freaking thing on it. And I'm like, no, I just like, I wanted, you gave me 8 onions, I wanted 10, and now I have 100. And that's seems to be the only consistency. That's no matter where you go Chipotle, anywhere. If you ever ask and like dare question their sandwich making, I don't even know what the word is, expertise, they just they don't grasp that little bit more. Maybe, and it's got to be the weenie people that's like, hey, just get a little bit more, and then they put a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and that may just make it be like, and they just dump it on. But it's the only consistency I've seen in sandwich shops. So, cheers. All right. Can't stop watching 4GT videos. Yeah, I don't really have much to. This was just sort of a. I should be probably facing the wrong way too. You know what I mean? I'll give you guys a background. All right. There's some cars behind me. Much better, right? Let me shut the door here. And fire away with some questions. Favorite car to drive? I like the GT3. Any gray t-shirts? Yeah, I got a bunch of them here. The lighting was bad. I look much younger now. Any progress on getting a new GT3? Yeah, I haven't really done much on that front. Let's see if that's. I hate that. You see the lights? That means my camera's dirty, and I just don't have anything to clean it. So that's what you get. I'm in the shop right now. Let me just give you a little bit. You have SV 670 SV, TDF, Aperta, 918, Spider. Another TDF, Chevam's M3 Lightweight, Chevam's GT3, Mercedes-Benz, a Range Rover, and my NSX. So I wasn't planning on doing this for an incredibly long time. I just haven't done it in a while. And I know people are like, hey, where's the live video? So here I am. I'll try to get to some questions. It's easy to hit up this guy because his name is bold. Any follow-up on the Supra situation? What's the Supra situation? I bought it, didn't rent, sold it. No real follow-up on that. It's funny, I've gotten, as expected, a couple of people, oh, I didn't even know it was available, blah, 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 blah. It's not on your website. I'm like, look, let's not pretend that you've been going to my website every day, and that's how you know whether a car is available or not. I had people calling up, and they just weren't renting it. Like, hey, like you see, the only rental car I have in here right now this weekend is the Range Rover, which came back from rental. It was out all weekend. Now it's Sunday afternoon, so the cars start coming back. But, excuse me. Yes, I am. Yes, sir. One of the cars coming back. The Yeah, so the cars are out. They come back on Sundays. But like this, it's been like this all summer, and that means I have the right amount of cars. And we got the Supra. The Supra was hot. Everybody's like, "Oh, Supra, $100,000 over sticker." Nonsense. And what happened? Sold out. But I have the Supra here. I'd like to rent a car, blah, 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 but I don't have what you're looking for. I don't have the Corvette, don't have the Porsche, don't have any of that. But here's what I do have available this weekend: the Toyota Supra, the new one. Cool. Thanks. Nothing. Um, what we got? C Pro Racing. Hey, Rob from the UK, grab a coffee on me. Thank you. I will. €2. That'll get me Starbucks. I don't like I'm an espresso guy, not a coffee guy, and I don't like Starbucks espresso or Dunkin' Donuts really. If I had to pick between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, I'm leaning towards D&D. But yeah, so the Super thing was a flop. What did I sell it for? I sold it to a wholesaler. It was a couple grand over a sticker. It was nothing. What wasn't worth the exercise. That wasn't the intention. The decision that I used at the time was I was either going to cut that car loose. I was either going to try to rent it, and if I try to rent it and it doesn't do well, in a perfect scenario, you're talking, it's making $350 a day, right? $350 a day, whatever. Say it goes out, that doesn't do well. It goes out 6 days a month, 8 days a month. It's making $2,500 a month. If I was going to keep that car, I'd have to register it, insure it, which the insurance is a bunch. Oh, somebody throw me 100 Knox. I don't know what that is, but it's in a different color. I'll get to you guys in a second. If the carrying costs on it would have been money, right? It would cost money to carry the car, to keep it in the fleet for a couple of months. And even when I bought it, I'm like, you know what? The Super is going to be hot for a minute, but then people are going to lose interest. So I'll get it, and I can put it on the Dream Car Tour. I can do that. And if it makes $5,000 a month for 3 months, it's $15,000. My cost is $7,000 or $8,000. It's worth doing. And here we went through this process, and I don't think it was going to make anything near that. I think it was going to make $1,200 or $1,500 a month, which doesn't even cover the costs. And then while these other cars are trading and like, oh, 5,000 over, 10,000 over, $15,000 over, mine will have 2,000, 3,000 miles on it, and I'll get 5,000 under. So I'll have the carrying costs of the car, and then I'll sell it for under list. I was hoping it would do pretty well and the market would be decent. I get sort of my money back. Just wasn't the right car for this industry. Ben, thank you for the $5. You didn't have a comment though, so I'll just call. Thank you, Ben Hayen. And then exotic car rental. Somebody gave me 100 Knox, which could be $1 million, could be $5. I don't know. But thank you. I bet you would be able to rent a 95 Supra. The answer to that is probably not. And here's why I wouldn't be able to rent a 95 Supra. The MK4 Supras are the popular ones. It's the Fast and the Furious Supra. It's like the one that I have. The reason it wouldn't be a very good rental is because the cool ones are stick, and you're gonna have the wrong type of renters. So the guys who want to go out and hoon the cars are going to be the guys that rent it. If I rented out a stock 95 automatic Supra, which the reason I say automatic, because you need to rent an automatic because 8 out of 10 people in the US don't drive stick. So say I rented out a stock automatic 95, 98, whatever it is, Supra. It's slow. It doesn't perform very well. It looks sort of like a Supra. I mean, it obviously looks the part, but it doesn't perform the part. What makes the MKV Supra, the Gen 4 Supra so popular is that it walks the walk and it talks the talk. I don't care who you are. You driving a Supra down the road, and this is a cool thing about it, is like every Hayabusa wants to run you, which because everybody's conditioned. that these Supras can hold a ton of horsepower. So they just assume every Supra has horsepower like mine. Luckily, I always drive it on race gas, so when somebody pulls up, bring it. I bring it to the track and we can race each other. But you know what I mean. It just the experience is very underwhelming in a stock Supra. It wouldn't do so hot because you're used to now modern day performance standards, and a stock 95 Supra just wouldn't cut it for most. MBI Mercedes-Benz's Frenchie option on Speciale buy or wait. Speciale coupes. Goodbye now. 458s. That's a solid car, and I think long run, it's not a car you can put a lot of miles on and still make money, but I think they're at that nice low point in their depreciation before they start to the moon. Now, if you're laying out $250,000, $300,000 in a car, there's also better things to do with the money. But if you want to park it in a vehicle, that is not a bad choice. Let me just get to these super chats here. Any update on what I asked car for a day from my coworkers at Pfizer? I emailed you back, but you were still in Germany, Fred. Fred, just forward you. Hit me back in the email. I gave up on email. Just hit me back, so it's at the top of my inbox. I'll get back to you today. For new batteries for your Benoit balls. What's a Benoit balls? Am I missing something? Is this like an internet thing that I don't know about? Gregor Miller gave me $2 and said, for new batteries for your Benoit balls. Benoit balls. I don't know. Thank you, but I have no idea what the hell you're saying. Buy another car, LOL. Thank you, pretty boy. Scroll down here. F-Body Bill. Cool to see you in Philly yesterday. Good seeing you as well. If you said hello. I ran into a bunch of people in Philadelphia, mostly at night. I was walking the streets of Philadelphia at night, like Bruce Springsteen, and there's a song there. But a lot of people were flagging me down and recognizing me, like walking around randomly in Philadelphia. Daniel Berman, 2014 F-Type or 2014 M5, both 28,000. Very different cars. One's a four-door. I don't know if the F-Type. I think the F-Type is the two-door convertible. If that's the case, they're like complete opposites. But if you're talking about an F-Type four-door, which could be a thing, I don't pay attention to Jaguars, I would lean towards the M5. I think it'll have a higher resale value as time goes on. And the M5 is a proper performance car. Where'd it go? Scroll back up. Mark Clark, 666. How dumb is it to want a Ferrari 360 as my attainable dream car? Previous cars are Evo 8, M3 single turbo, FD, etc. If it would be a manual coupe only. It's a great dream car. It's actually a very nice and attainable goal to set, because you could score a 360 in the, I don't know, just say $60,000, $70,000 range, which is fairly attainable. That is an attainable car payment for virtually anybody with a job as time goes on. If you work at entry-level jobs right now, don't be like, oh, I could never afford that. You can. Set your fucking dreams higher. Sorry. Effing beep. Damn, sorry, live. Sorry about that, YouTube. These guys come and drag me out and start beating me with clubs. You know why. But yes, the 360 is a very attainable and reasonably responsible purchase, because it's pretty reliable and it'll treat you pretty well. It's a Ferrari. It drives nice. It's got the right amount of speed. You're asking for a manual transmission, which are selling for more, but there's this weird, and I was thinking about doing a video on this, there's this weird thing where you could easily switch it over to a manual, but I don't know how the world reacts to the swap. Like, they're like, oh, cool, a manual. Oh, it's not from the factory. Like with Supras, if you swap the transmission, people are like, nah, it's not worth as much to swap. But now the new Supra and some other cars, there's companies swapping manuals into 458s and Supras that don't come with manuals. And everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. I'll spend more money for that. So I'm up in the air. If the act of swapping a transmission with the parts that it's supposed to be that just didn't come on the car devalues it, why is it if it never came with a manual transmission and you drop one in, now it's worth 40% more? I don't get it. That's very strange to me. Cool. Thanks, Rob Fred. No problem. Let's scroll down here. I want to get these super chat guys because you guys are throwing coin and you deserve to be acknowledged. Did I miss anyone? Thought I saw another yellow one in there, but I just said it. So no, I guess I got it. I guess I got you all. Good. Yeah. So yeah, easy on the yeah. I see some of the comments. I'm gonna skip over here, but yeah. So as far as what I'm doing with Sixt, I like the YouTuber in me wants to like fight him and say like, send me my wheel, I'll pay you, or like show me proof that the wheel isn't still on the car and that you've actually replaced it, and we're good. Because I guarantee whoever's renting that car right now with that same license plate, that wheel is probably still on the car that they're trying to charge me for a new wheel for, and they're never going to replace it. They're just going to charge me $2,000, which is not cool. To me, that's fraud. Or they just sent it out and had it resurfaced. They didn't actually replace the wheel. That's my problem. I don't have a problem restoring it back to the way it was, but they're not giving me that option to just have it repaired. So that's sort of annoying to me. And the YouTuber should stretch it out as long as he can and fight them and send them legal letters and CC lawyers. For me, I'd rather probably just let my credit card eat it because, as I said, I got the Sapphire Reserve for Chase, and they offer coverage on that, so I just have to make it. And if they pay it, they pay it. If not, they don't. If not, then I may fight it. I don't know. I don't feel good giving them my money, but I shouldn't also feel good giving them somebody else's money if they haven't earned it or they don't deserve it. Any tips for foreigners renting in the U.S.? Go 9 big Alamo. Enterprise Alamo Hertz Sixt, or go smaller. Wanted something not exotic, but at least not very common. The problem you get with renting cars in the U.S. is it's either common or exotic. If you're going with the big companies, it's going to be a pretty standard car, unless like Enterprise has an exotic collection. But you could get like a Ghibli or something like that, but you're really not going to be too thrilled with that. If you are flexible and you have some time, I don't generally recommend Turo because you're now dealing with somebody acting as a rental company, but they give you the insurance so you can get somebody's personal car, which may interest you, which is probably less common, that you can drive around and it comes with insurance. So there's that option, but I just sort of steer clear of that because it generally becomes more of a headache than it's worth. Because imagine you show, and anytime I've gotten something off of Turo, it's either been like misrepresented, and I go for the wacky cars, but it's either misrepresented or like if I show up and there's damage on the side of the car, and you're now at this location to meet this guy, you can't just go grab another car off the lot, so you're sort of locked into that car. So it's a little bit less fun, and you have less flexibility. House update. I'm actually going to shoot that video today, so you'll see the house update. You'll see that I've got 2 NSX videos I'm going to shoot. They'll make sense. Let's see what else I got on the calendar here. Just trying to keep up. All right, so my Volt was due back July 14th. I returned it like 7 weeks later. You'll see how that all unfolded. I'm just waiting to see my final bill so I can wrap that video. What is this one? That I did. Oh, F the DOT. That's going to be a good one because the DOT, worst agency in the U.S. Shivam, I'm going to have to call you back. You know what? Yeah, Shivam. I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. Is this incredibly important, or can I return your call? Not important. Okay, you got it. So that was Shavam asking me if I had watched the Ring. We have a Ring security system here. If I have watched the local events, Ring, something they do is the people can use their doorbell to document stuff and then say like, watch out for this shady guy or this burglar. It's like mostly false alarm stuff. But then there was a guy who just posted, and I didn't get a chance to respond back to him, but like, this Mustang sped down the street. Here you could see the 13 seconds. And I'm like, guys, this isn't the purpose of the doorbell. It's not to try to narc on somebody for driving faster than you want them to drive down the street, because now you can't prove who it was. Like, it's all nonsense. And just creating this surveillance network to rat on people for nonsense. Oh, this guy looks shady. Well, whatever. He's a Jehovah's Witness. He came to knock on your door. Just tell him, put a no trespassing sign out. Anyway, I don't like that like surveillance web that we're building. Let's see what else I have. I've got the Volt lease. Watch out when renting exotics in Europe. I've got, when we were on adventure drives, I go through all the exotic cars we rented over there. We had a GTR, Lamborghini Urus, an R8, 458, 488 Spider, and and a Nissan GTR, if I haven't said that already. And I just show you the condition on those because they're pretty ratchet. There's a logic behind each individual car there, but I've owned my Ferrari for over a year. How do I know that? Because I did a 1-year lease on my 360 and then I had to pay it off. So we'll discuss that. Cost of ownership for the year. The Maserati rebuild, I'm just waiting on the headlight. Then I can tally up how much the Maserati cost. Cool suit, that's going to be a fun one. I love the cool suits. I got to get my truck back so I can do that. The house approval I'll go through. Cost me $100 to go through the Mont Blanc tunnel in Europe. We can go through that. But just videos on videos on videos. Let's see. I hear the Aventador is coming back, so I'm going to have to bail pretty soon. Oh, my 488 got the wrong part for that. That sucked. All right, let's see what we got here. Any tips for foreigners? We got that one. House update, please. We just covered that. That's coming in the shortly. Thanks for the great videos. Much appreciated. You got it. AR Platinum. Oh, here it comes. Mauricio says, have you ever thought about Ask VinWiki app users? Have you ever thought about Ask VinWiki app users? Oh yeah, no, I don't. I guess it makes sense. He's asking if it makes sense to use VinWiki as a technology to make sure that the tire was changed on the BMW. I'm sure that's a useful technology, but I don't know if it's really difficult, because now if the wheel is damaged still or not damaged, to prove that it's not the same wheel, it's just not something that somebody's going to be able to do without physically renting that car and documenting it. So I don't know if it's as easy to do. Whoop, just missed a bunch of them. Any Tesla Roadster to be added to the fleet? No, I don't think we're going to get that one. I just don't think especially a Tesla performance car doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense in the exotic car rental space, because if you get a Tesla performance car that's got crazy performance, you're probably going to deplete the battery in 30 miles instead of 300, which whatever the range would be, because everyone's going to want to go 0 to 150 in 3 seconds. And then I'm going to always get stuck with somebody who's, oh, I ended up charging it the whole time. And have I noticed Rob Dom making progress on the 4-rotor? Look, he's been making progress on the 4-rotor for multiple years now. Call me when it's closer to done. Like in the car and running, and like we're getting close. I mean, it's been a while, right? Like, been quite some time. Any advice for a first manual car? Yeah, get a Volkswagen Jetta, some bullshit, Honda, anything that you can get for sub $2,000 or $3,000, and then just drive it in the ground. Drive it every day. Grind the gears, slip the clutch. Doesn't matter. Just learn how to drive, and you won't worry too much about it. If you buy a car that costs what a replacement clutch would cost, then you can't really feel bad if you, and you'll be surprised. Like you can learn how to drive on a car and then get 100,000 miles out of the clutch. So just buy something cheap, romp on it, and see what you get. Let's see what else we got here. Hi, John. Got 706 people watching right now, but I'll try to wrap this up. I'm going to go to 30 minutes, guys. It's another 4 minutes. So if you have any super pressing questions, just do some sort of super chat so it pops up. Otherwise, I'll just grab whatever I can sort of see. But I think I covered the upcoming videos. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, those are the, yep, that's a good one. Yeah, so yeah, we've been plugging away, trying to keep up with the video uploads. I've got a thing on how not to end up banned from a rental company. They've got something called a DNR, which is a do not rent. And there's a bunch of ways to get on that list. And it's not easy. You have to actually earn your way onto that list. But I'm going to cover how those lists are populated, and once you're on there, how you can get it off. And another one I was going to do the biggest mistake people make when trying to avoid a ticket, but ends up getting people tickets most of the time. Missed my Bentley reliability super chat. Let me see that one. I'm going to scroll up. First manual, Rob Dom. I can't even scroll up any higher. Well, Bentley reliability is good. I would always stand in front of a Carrera GT. They're at a price point right now that's very, very reasonable for the 06, 07, 08. I would recommend at least the 12 because they upgraded the entertainment system in it, and instead of having a screen that you can't touch, which is natural instinct, you can do the touch screen in the 2012 Plus. But reliability wise, you get the airbag shocks go out from time to time. Nothing of consequence, maybe a turbo on the engine or something, but they're pretty rock solid. What brand of car detail products do you recommend? I heard Ammo NYC is good. Well, I know Larry over at Ammo NYC, so I can't say you'd go wrong with his products because he's a good dude, but I haven't tried them. David Patterson has Patterson Car Care stuff. Again, he sent it to me. I haven't tried it. The stuff we use on all the rental cars is Adams Polishes because Adams supplies those for us. And I'm not the one doing the cars, but I've heard good things about Adams products. So if you want to check those out, I mean, I can't put a link in the description or anything like that. But that's who I use. But there's a bunch of car care stuff. I can't imagine with all the different car care options out there that there's too many reasons to go into one versus the other. But I think it's just whatever you personally, yeah, I'd try them a bunch out and then see what you personally like best. Let's see. When will you do a road trip with Matt Farah? I would do a road trip with Matt Farah anytime. I just did a road trip with Matt Farah last year. We just didn't document it. But we did a road trip through Europe. You missed the Ben snowplow. That Ben snowplow was now my daily driver. Any chance of starting a business in Australia? I haven't been to Australia, so there's no way I'm going to start a business there. I'm giving you guys a 60-second warning. I'm going to be punching out here in a second. Got some stuff to do. Another cheap car challenge coming up. Probably in the next couple of months we'll film that. Another project car challenge coming up. Working on all of these. Here's some super chat, guys. Let me hit you up before I bounce. Will there be another $500 car video in the future? There will be. What's the best sports car for under $6,000? Interesting. I was just going through this with my friend. If you can get a decent mile like Audi A4, oh, it's not really a sports car. You want a sports car, huh? Neither is a Miata. If you could squeeze a C5 Corvette, you're in the UK. I don't know, people think of Miata as a sports car. I'm not really. I don't subscribe to that method of thinking, but Nissan 240s is something moddable at that point in time. But as far as if you want a factory sports car for $6,000, you're in like the Mazda, Miata like category, and that's just not going to get you as much value as you want. Even like a BMW, you're looking high miles cars at that point in time. I drive an F430, and the car feels very raw to me, like a race car with AC. Is the 458 worth the extra 50,000 based on driving experience? The 458 is a much better car than the 430, honestly. And I think the 458 is going to keep its value very well. So that's something I would definitely. I think the 430 is a little bit softer. It's sort of never found its footing. It's sort of in between the 360 and the 458 as far as uh, fan bases. So that's completely up to you. But the 458, I think, is going to be long term one of the best Ferraris and the most sought after Ferraris that you can buy. All right, this guy gave me another 50 knock. I don't know what that is, but cool. Thank you. Um, which 4x4 supercar would you recommend between the R8, I8? I'm 2 meters tall, by the way, and want to fit. I would definitely go with the R8 over the I8, hands down. I would steer clear of the I8. I don't think it's a very awesome car. So R8. Hello, this is ClickDaily UK speaking about you live at ClickDaily UK. So ClickDaily UK just tossed five British pounds, and I guess just to get ClickDaily UK mentioned on the live chat. So thank you very much for the money. I have no problem mentioning you. Manual Gallardo or 430, where would my money be safe? Any of the factory manual cars, your money's pretty safe. But uh, as I said, we covered that earlier about switching a car into manual. That's something you have to think about because people like me are going to switch cars. And if you're concerned about collectability, I don't know if the swap transmission is going to have the same value as a factory offered manual. So, all right, guys, as I said, it's a little over 30 minutes now. I got some stuff to do. I just wanted to pop in, say hello. Thank you to the Super Chat people. Thank you for everybody that jumped in. There's like 600 or 700 people here. And for a Sunday afternoon, I will take that. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And maybe I'll surprise you with an upload today. If not, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, I got you. See you later. How do I end this? How do I end it? This is awkward. Oh, there it is. I just wasn't scrolled up.